What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the first episode of The Forest, which is a cannibal survival simulator. You're not the cannibal, by the way. I am not responsible for whatever's going on over here. But the game has started out with two guys' severed heads roped together with intestines. You can pretty much guess what's coming. And so I'm going to leave everything. I'm going to try and move things around a little bit. The game doesn't save your presets, so anyways, there we go. The game seems to run at like 25 frames no matter what I do anyways, so I think it's an optimization issue. It's in very, very early alpha, and the point of the game is to survive much like Rust, except this time you'll be hunted by this tribe of cannibals the entire time. So instead of other players, you're being hunted by AI, and they are quite agile. They are very, very deadly. The combat is very similar to what you might see in Chivalry. And so without further ado, let's start the game off, because I think you guys are probably more interested in seeing me play the game than you are hearing me talk about it. So, in lieu of what's waiting, let's do this thing. So if you've ever, I guess the way that I would compare this game, well, this game has a really long loading screen at the beginning, so we'll just talk through it. If you've ever played Miasmata and you wish that it had like 500% more balls, that would be this game right here. It's Miasmata where everything is trying to kill you instead of just one giant weird cat-tiger thingy. And so as we go through the game, we'll be building shelters, we'll be putting booby traps down, we'll be trying to figure out what plants are poisonous and which ones are not. It's a very, very cool survival sim by comparison to anything out on the market right now. I can't say that I've played anything quite like it, except maybe to call it like a first-person Don't Starve, but with way, way darker tones and in first person. I mean, it's just, did I already say that? Did I say first person Don't Starve? Ah, well, basically it's Don't Starve with all the humor taken out and just replace it with gritty and nasty and bloody. And that's pretty much what you're left with here, playing The Forest. And so we find ourselves on a plane. There's our son. He's sniffing our arm because we decided to wear our mint flavored cologne today. We're checking out the necklace, which was rated 4 stars. Not bad for a horror film, to be honest. I don't think that happens very often. And so, if you pay attention very, very closely, that is the sound that little planes make when they are not feeling well, when they have an upset tummy. We've now got a glass storm followed by red mist. I'm just going to accept our blessings and say that it's not my red mist, so I'm not going to worry about it. We're remaining completely calm about the situation. Looking at my body language, we don't even care that we're crashing. We're like, bring it on. Will there be internet down here? Which would be my first question. And so there it is. We are now crash landed on the island in the forest. And I'd like to introduce you to a guy that I like to call Paintyface Nudieman. This is Paintyface Nudieman. He runs an entire colony of cannibals who have kidnapped our son and are now trying to eat us. I tried to ask him about his chainmail loincloth and whether it causes chafing. Like, for example, if you have phallic calluses, does that count as a plus or a minus? Like, do you get skill points for that or do you lose skill points for that? Like, is that a perk or a flaw? But he didn't really seem that interested in answering my question, so I just let it fly. This is the way that the game's going to be played from here on out, and I'm going to try and treat this thing as a little bit of a tutorial for people who aren't familiar with the game. I'm not very good at it, so I may not be the best person to give said tutorial, but I'm going to do my best in order to get you acclimated to the game. You pick up objects by using the E key, and so there it is. If you look down to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a little limited aspect of our HUD. The left-hand bar is going to be our health. The inner right-hand bar is our stamina, and the outer right-hand bar, denoted by the dark blue, is going to be how full up we are. Our stamina can only reach that point. It cannot exceed it. And so there it is. Our health is where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the remaining sodas. Ooh, there's some pills. Okay, we've got ourselves some alcohol. Some more alcohol. Some further alcohol. So if we're ready to get schnockered, oh dear. Well, someone appears to have a leg up on this situation, but puns aside, we're going to walk away. Continue gathering up the alcohol. Our health is fully restored, so we don't need to use those pills that we found so far. Can we grab that flashlight right there? No? Damn, that'd be useful. Alright, we're going to leave that there for a reason. I'll tell you why in just a minute. Once you leave the plane, you can't get back on the plane, and so that is one of the few accessible items that you can leave in the plane. We're covered with blood right now, and a bird has landed on our finger. It's a cannibal bird. Great. And the bird decided to take the opportunity to moon us. I know exactly what kind of adventure this is going to be. Let's jump down out of the plane, and welcome to the forest. And so what we're watching out for right now is the cannibals will be running around pretty soon. We kind of want to get out of here. I don't think, every time that I've ever tried to start out my adventure by staying near the fuselage, it has never worked out in my favor. It always backfires on me. I don't even know what I'm eating right there. As you can tell, the game has bugs every now and again. Let's crack open some of these suitcases, though, before we leave to get healing items. Because they're going to have cloth, and they're going to have all kinds of goodies that we can't get anywhere else. And so we really, really want these. Let's get rid of the tennis ball, though, because I don't think we're going to need that unless we can make like a tennis ball grenade later, and that's something that I'm not privy to. So you can't blame me for not knowing. Let's Let's continue cracking these open. We can use our axe to chop down trees. Basically, everything you see around here is interactable with. We can destroy it, eat it, turn it into leaves, process it. You know what I mean. This bunny appears to be very, very slow. Sorry, buddy. Or sorry, bunny, I guess, if I wanted to replace the letters. The bunny on narcotics. He's out cold. Oh, good. It's going to rain on us. Alright, well, let's have a scan around for any remaining luggage. And the first thing we want to do is build ourselves a shelter. Now, building ourselves the super awesome shelter of our dreams is probably not going to be our option right now. The honeymoon house that we've always dreamed about, probably not going to be within our grasp for at least another couple episodes. But what we can do for now is we can set up a lean-to, which is not a bad plan. I actually do a little bit of survivalism in real life because I am a geologist, and so I know a little bit about survivalism because it's good to learn things just in case your modern comforts decide to disappear on you while you're out in the middle of the desert by yourself. And so I do read a lot of Les Stroud and a lot of Cody Lundin and things like that just to keep myself slightly educated. Ooh, a flashlight. That'll be nice for later on. Oh, balls. There they are. Okay, so they're already onto us, but they're walking in the opposite direction. We can't block with this axe, and so that's going to be its main weakness. We need to chop down some of these saplings. We're going to grab these sticks. Leaves are gathered automatically. I say that so that it saves you from like 45 minutes of running around trying to figure out where the hell you get leaves from. You pick them up automatically. If I had paid attention to my HUD, I would know that. We'll grab... Okay, so we're maxed out on sticks. I'm just going to try and get as far away from the fuselage as I can, although I suppose I probably should be paying attention to the directions that I'm going in. This is a rather large grandmother tree-looking thing. I don't even know if we can chop that one down. That's an impressive tree, though. Is that a stump? Okay. Let me grab these rocks, because we're going to need these for some of our constructions later. Not going to eat any of those mushrooms. I don't feel like spending the beginning half of our adventure walking through strawberry fields or anything like that. I suppose... It's actually not the worst of plans to build our shelter on the edge of the cliff right here. For the reason that it's defensible. If I get down here, can I get back up? I can. So maybe, just maybe, this might be a good location for our first base. I haven't seen any cannibals around. They were all going in the other direction. The cannibals are going to largely be situated around little camps that are around, and they wander. And I think you have to wipe the camps out one by one. I don't really know what your goal is in this game, to be honest, except to rescue your kid, who's probably already been converted into cannibal dinner. I mean, that's the thing, is he probably just made... He was more of an hors d'oeuvre, but they've probably already ate him. So you've got stones here. Let's go ahead and get started with some of the basics. What we're going to do is press the B button to open our survival handbook, and this is the only thing in between you and an early grave. Everything you need to know. Apparently we're shaking right now. I'd be shaking too if I had just been in a car or a plane crash. We're going to go with a hunting shelter, which is a semi-permanent... Oh, I messed up. I didn't mean to do that. Can I get rid of this somehow? Weak. Okay, well I guess that's just going to be there for now then. I may instead try and make our shelter down here anyways, because it gives us cover so nothing can see us if we duck down. Gives us a little bit of defilade if we need it. And so instead, let's go right here. We'll go a hunting shelter. Oh, it's not going to let us. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Okay. So it's not going to allow us to pitch our tent right there, unfortunately. Well, I tried to hit the R button. That's why I placed that right there on accident. Let's go ahead and I guess we'll just put it right here, and we'll just ignore the fact that there's another ugly shelter next to us. There we go. I don't really know how to cancel this. I assume that there's some way to do it, but we obviously can't hit it with our axe. Let's chop down some trees. We're losing our hunger pretty rapidly, and I want to make sure that we have a shelter up before the end of the episode, because the shelter is the only way to save your game. So if you don't have a shelter, you're not saving, and for somebody who's filming an LP, that can rapidly become a very, very major issue. So, believe me, I've recorded like 10 episodes now, and I keep dying without saving, and so I'm trying to teach myself a lesson by continuing forward. And so, as is typical with all survival games, we start out by playing with wood. I make lots of wood jokes. We all have a laugh. You can fill in the blanks right here. And what we need are... Let's see, we need... Well, we've got the sticks. We've got the rocks. So let's find ourselves a few more sticks. So there we go. A couple more sticks. And one thing that I do like is as you fill in your base right here, what you'll notice is that it actually puts the parts in, which is really, really badass. I like that. I like that a lot. It actually kind of adds to the immersion. You feel like you're building the object piece by piece. Let's go ahead and chop that down. Had a couple more sticks in our backpack. There we go. So all of our sticks are in place. We can only carry a couple logs at a time because they're big, they're round, and they're wood, they're heavy, and so forth. So being able to carry 2 of these bastards at a time is about the best that I can manage. It is going to eat away at our hunger, but we need to put in 8 logs in order to make this a real shelter that we can sleep in. It looks like we only got 4 from this tree. Considering how quickly we chopped down a large evergreen tree, a deciduous tree, I believe is what they're called, right? Deciduous? I don't know. I don't remember anything from my biology classes. I just kind of skim my way through there. If it's alive, we geologists don't really care about it. It's like, meh. Is it made out of potassium, possibly? Does it have calcium as part of its structure? Does it crystallize? If not, well, we probably don't care about it. Let's gather up some more sticks, because obviously I went through a bunch of those. And we'll chop this down so that we can get the final aspects that we need to our hunting lodge that we're building. Now later on, if we find ourselves a much better supply of logs, we can build ourselves a super badass. I'm kind of worried about that tree over there, by the way. That tree is sort of iconic in the sense that it looks like kind of a large gathering place. If I'm setting myself up right next to the Cannibal Moose Lodge, I'm going to be a little bit upset with my choice of placement, but we'll deal with that. We will cross that bridge when we get there. We will chop that tree once it's actually a problem. Let's grab some log. There we are. Carry it on back. And I think we need 2 more after this. So let's... Oh, I thought that bush was a cannibal right there. I was like, no, they found us. And they're so scary, guys. You have no idea. They're like The Hills Have Eyes. They bounce around in the trees. They do all kinds of crazy gymnastics. They are super hardcore. And right now, we can't block with this weapon. Like, the combat very much resembles Chivalry, if you've ever played that game, where it's all about blocking and parrying and fighting. Oh, we're covered in blood. That's not good. If you're covered in blood, it increases your chances of getting infections, in case you're wondering what I'm alluding to right here. It's not a good thing. It's a very, very bad thing. So what we want to do is we want to find a water source that we can swim in. Where did the other logs go? I feel like my logs despawned on me. I guess we'll chop down one of these smaller trees, and hopefully that'll work out for us along the way. Hey, tree. I command you to chop. There we go. Sometimes there's a little bit of confusion when you're trying to get things to work the way you want. There's no bunnies or anything around. We are going to have to come up with a food solution as well. Otherwise, I'm going to find myself hoofing it on back to the plain, which is, quite plainly, it's a terrible idea. You don't want to be anywhere near the plain because there's always loads and loads of cannibals around it. I think it's because it's such a great source of just all kinds of goodies. There's cloth. There's tons of useful items. There's electronics. There's lots of animals that are investigating the fuselage as well. Oh, there they are. They fell off in a different direction. Well, I'm an idiot then. We'll deal with that later. Not the idiocy, but we'll deal with the fact. There we go. So we have ourselves our first shelter. Hooray. I'm so proud of us. Now we want to make ourselves a permanent fire in front of said shelter. So going to our Basics of Survival manual, pressing the B key, and looking at the fire pit. Let's go ahead and get one of these laid down right there. For the fire pit, we're going to need 4 sticks, which we already have. And then... Oh, they found us. Okay, so let's get out of here. It marks it on your map, on your HUD. You're going to know where your shelter is no matter what you do. And so if we can escape and kind of avoid conflict with these guys, I would really, really prefer it. These guys they're hard. They're really, really hardcore. And they're also quite nude, which for whatever reason really makes me feel kind of antsy about fighting them. There's something about fighting a naked man, and I'm pretty sure a comedian has done a joke about this. Oh, does he know we're here? Let's stay low, and hopefully we can avoid detection. So we've got 1 chieftain and 1 female. No, stop playing around with the birds. This is not a Disney moment. We have cannibals attempting to eat us, man. Oh, it is. It's like their social club. I bet they're all over there wearing fedora. I'm sorry, they're all over there wearing fezzes and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Driving around in tiny cars. Damn it. So seeing as they've passed us... Still not feeling good about this, but let's go ahead and put in some rocks. We'll continue with the construction, then we need to find ourselves some food. Where we're going to get the food at, I'm not totally sure. There should be blackberry bushes and things around here that we can forage from, but that's assuming that we can find them in the first place. And so I would hate to start off my first episode by starving to death. I'm going to play this game whether we die or not because I really, really like it, and I feel like it's a game that people at the Nerd Castle would enjoy. But I just want to let you know, if we die, this is still just, we're going to restart. I'll probably just skip out on the opening cinematic and we'll just pick up where we left off, because I think my chances of survival are pretty slim at the moment. Slim to none would be the way that I would classify them. Oh, there's aminals. There we go. So we've killed ourselves a bunny. And having committed bunny slaughter, bunny murder, whatever you want to call it, I'm sort of interested... Ooh. Okay, so it's now raining again. There's a water source right there that we could go down to the edge. Let's fight a Komodo dragon with an axe. That seems like a great way to secure our manliness on this island. So we've killed a lizard and we've skinned it. Skinned lizard. That sounds like a heavy metal band. We are Skinned Lizard. Hello, Oakland. They've just got typos in their name. Skinned Lizard. Grammatically incorrect and driving the grammar Nazis crazy since 1984. Alright, so we gotta finish our campfire so that we can cook our dinner. Now, setting up this fire is probably gonna draw all sorts of attention down on us. And that's not a good thing. However, we are sort of You hear that? That's them. They don't really have a written language. They don't even have an oral language. They kind of just grunt. It's almost like when me and my friends get together to like watch the game or play video games, we mostly just grunt. We don't even converse about anything important. We're just I hear footfalls. My guess is that we've already been seen. So there's that. You start the game with a lighter, in case you were wondering, so you don't have to worry about, like... Maybe those are the birds, who appear to be very, very attracted to my shelter. Well, let's do this. It's not really... We have to eat, so... If you want to cook anything, you go to your inventory by pressing the I key, you click on the animal you want to cook, and then you press the C key while aiming at the fire, and it will put it on the fire. Let's gather these feathers, because I don't know if they're going to be useful for arrows or anything later on, just in case we need to fletch anything. And so now we just hang out, and we wait for this to get done. We are quite hungry right now. Our health is going to start to diminish soon. Thank you for the extra... You can throw extra fire on there, too, by using the E key. That's what that leaf is telling you, is that you can throw a little bit of extra. There we go. It's all nice and cooked up now. Let's go ahead and eat it. That's going to restore us completely, actually. Not bad. Not bad at all. We've done a really good job at evading the bad guys so far, which is rare. Typically, they're on top of you just instantaneously the second you start messing around. So I am glad to see that we've given them the slip. We're looking a little bloody, so let's go down to the water side, and we're going to get ourselves cleaned up, because you get infections if you're covered in blood. I need to re-equip my axe. If you want to do that, you press the I key, and you just click on the plain axe in your inventory. It is quite a plain axe. I mean, it's red, which is about as stereotypical for an axe as you can get. We don't really judge, though. We're not going to judge our axe based on axe-related stereotypes during the course of this playthrough. We're just going to be like, you know what, axe? Thank you for your kind service in helping us destroy trees so that we can create constructions. Or if I was feeling a little bit... Well, if I wanted to raise an eyebrow, I would say thank you, axe, for allowing us to create erections during the course of this playthrough. Now, I want to be careful along the water side, because there is no cover down here. You will note that we're sort of just walking dangerously in the open, and that can lead to our own demise. However, do we just get leaves from there? Okay, what I would like to do is go down to the beach and have a look around. So this appears to be the ocean. What side of the island we're on right now, I have no idea. But what we can do is we can rinse off in the water. And so there it is. As you can see, the underwater effects haven't been added just yet. You can dive under the water once you get out deep enough, but I don't think the ocean's going to allow me to do it. We should be cleaned up. Yeah, there's no blood all over our hands anymore. So we're all cleaned up. We don't have to worry about infections. Let's go ahead and see if we can't secure a bit more food for the future. If that's remotely possible. You can murder the birds, by the way, if you feel like just getting them out of your hair for a little while. What's that, a little stone? Okay, so just a little stone. Alright. It's just a little boulder, to quote the old joke. Well, having a look around, I do think that we want to chart the island, because like Miasmata, you want to get a feeling for where you're at any given time. And so that out there is going to be called the seawall. We want to start naming things. So mentally, when you're in a survivalist situation, what you want to do is if you don't have a map and you have no way of getting your bearings, so for example, it's overcast right now. We can't see the sun. We have no idea where east and west are. If you're in the western quadrant, or if you're in California, for example, the trick where the moss grows on a certain side of a tree, that doesn't work in California. As far as I know anyways, I wouldn't rely on it to begin with. In certain areas of the planet that does work, but here, nope, it'll get you into trouble. So anyway, since we're overcast, oh, there's a rainbow. How delightful. What a wonderful thingamadoober to brighten our cannibal-filled day. Well, oh no. Have they seen us? Okay, so anyways, but what you want to do is you want to get your bearings by naming things. We're going to call that the seawall, and we're going to say that arbitrarily, we're going to decide that this direction is north, so the sea being on our right is north. If we find out later on that that's not the case, well, we'll make adjustments, but for now, that is going to be east. The ocean is on our east. That's just what we're going to say for the moment. If our base is in front of us, the ocean is on our east. If our base is behind us, the ocean is on our west, I suppose. Well, it's still on our east. We gotta flip around. We gotta navigate. Never mind. I'm saying dumb stuff right now. Ignore me. I'm hungry. It's early in the morning when I'm recording this. Anything that I say is more than likely patently false, because half the time I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. So let's go back to our base, and I'm thinking supplying ourselves with a nice crop of logs is the next thing we need to do, because we can't create a log holder for ourselves, something to store them while we build a better base, something that can't be invaded quite so easily, a log cabin if you will. The patrols are out in force. I'm not really sure how we get around those or how we're supposed to deal with them right now. Every time I've had a run-in with the bad guys, they've killed me, and so I have no idea if there's a right way to be doing this or a wrong. Can you chop the tree please? Thank you. Awesome. Just get your hands all over that thing and let's get this job done. I think what I will do for right now, though, is I'm going to head back to base, I'm going to save, and then we'll start up the next episode. So my name is Splattercat. This game is called The Forest. It's $14.99 on Steam right now. If you're enjoying the way that it looks, go ahead and pick it up. It is in very early access, so be aware that anything you see right now might not be representative of gameplay down the line. It is still very rough around the edges. Do not purchase the game thinking that you're going to get a full gameplay experience here, because there are definitely things missing. I will see you all in the next episode, number 2. Take care out there, everybody, and hi-do.